Today, we are connecting with someone I just met moments ago, just for a moment. And you're going to be so jealous where he's at because we all would like to be there, but just close your eyes and think that you're there. If you're just tuning in, I know that it's early morning and sometimes a lot of people don't tune in on the day of the interview, but it gets posted all over the place and then you tune in. But if you're just tuning in, please know that Alexandra Demetrius wrote the book, The Reward of Not Knowing. The Reward of Not Knowing is an account of Demetrius's memoirs transformed into an epic journey that began in San Antonio, Texas, and spans across the Pacific Ocean to Honolulu, Hawaii, where he currently resides. And as you know, I had to look that up. This way of writing is like a 12-step hero's journey. So I encourage you to look it up online. It kind of inspired me to look at what I'm writing and try to go by that journey. So it's a very interesting way to write and to look at your story. Thank you for being here, Alexander.
Well, hello.
I was just saying how great it would be to just be sitting there having a glass of wine and talking. But
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll use our imaginations
yes,
this time around.
yes, we will. We absolutely will. And I know it's so sunny there, and that's a wonderful thing. Um,
Yes.
is it possible to become aware of and overcome that victim mentality?
Book, which I see that you've also subscribed to its teachings, is The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz.
Oh,
That one really put me on track and gave me a sort of uh, discipline to follow throughout my daily life, which really talk about turning a mirror on yourself and
right.
mastering your own self. So don't worry about trying to change the masses. You've got the basis of it right here in yourself. When you look at persons in the political field or other arenas, which you think, how could they be that? Well, you can also think, what is their attitude and my reaction to it saying about me? And
Right.
always turn it back on yourself. And, the presence of a vital person vitalizes. So you can't save the world, but you can save yourself, and in doing so, save the world.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I actually ran into the Four Agreements that I'd been doing self-help work, and even after I wrote the book. But the book, you might say, brought about self-awareness. Now that I
Yeah.
had it, what do I do with it? There doesn't
Right.
mean everything that is afflicting me is all of a sudden magically solved. But
Right.
for me, the Four Agreements, I would say, here's a tidbit for the audience. If you don't care to read or you prefer audiobooks, go on YouTube. The Four Agreements are available on YouTube, the entire audiobook. Pop it in your ear first thing in the morning. But the one that really, you might say, drove it home for me was do not take anything personally.
Right.
Uh, because that makes the assumption when you do take things personally that everything is about you. And for me, that was how I thought, because I was blamed for everything as a child from this mother, things that I wasn't even born in the arena for. You just, as a child, accept it as fact and you say, okay. And when you are blamed for everything, then you go out there and you start blaming yourself for everything, which means you have to be poor me, victim.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to get tired of being a victim, because a lot of times we just run into the same thing, and we have a high tolerance, or some lower than others, for
Right.
pain in our lives. But I just reached that situation in life where everything about being a victim was not serving me. And, also making assumptions and not being impeccable with my word. And although I always did try my best, so before I could assimilate the other three, I was definitely doing
Yeah.
that one instinctively, because that's that driving force in us. So yes, meditate, read, listen to the Four Agreements. They will rock your world,
Yeah.
and they will shake you up. And one of the things you might experience is your life
Yes.
will start changing in miraculous ways. I'm not saying that money's going to fall out of the sky, but that is not necessarily the miracle you may need. A miracle is waking up and saying, I accept all of responsibility for all the choices I make today. and
Right.
there will never be another day like today. So I'm going to go out there and do this thing. So yeah, that's my recommendation.